Welcome to Dance Dish, where the dance ends and the dish begins. I'm your guest host, Lindsley Allen, and we have a live audience. Woo! We also have some celebrity guests with us today. Marty Kudelka, Scott Hislop,
hey,
and Heather Morris. You guys might know Heather Morris as Brittany S. Pierce from Glee, who started as a professional dancer, incredible career, and then landed the Glee job. Amazing, right? And you also have a little story for us about Russell Brand.
I do, yeah. Actually, it's funny because the ties are really with Zach Woodley, because Zach Woodley got me the job for Glee. I want to say he's my angel, but he also got me a lot of other jobs. I was assisting him for so many more jobs. He just was like, he genuinely was my guardian angel. Like, he'd whisper in people's ear. I was working on Fired Up at one point, and he was like, hey, director, she wants to be an actress. Will you give her a job?
those people that do that though,
Yeah.
that give and
He just
generous.
he constantly gives.
He's a good one.
Yay, Zach! We gotta have Zach on.
We love Zach.
Yes.
So I was working with him on a job called Bedtime Stories, where we were playing multiple different characters, very whimsical, fairy tale-like characters, because it's about, bedtime stories, and it's like a kids movie with Adam Sandler, directed by Adam Shankman, who's also a dancer.
Another
it was such
connection.
it was such a wonderful job. They actually flew us up to Sonoma Valley to this castle that was very period-like for Renaissance. And we were playing these Renaissance dancers in the scene with Carrie Russell, Guy Pearce, Adam Sandler, Russell Brand. And I remember so specifically on that shoot, Russell Brand, who is famously known for being sober. He is very intuitive. He was very interested in me, latched on to, wanting to know who I was. I'm interested in having conversations, asking me questions. And there was one moment where we were at the trailers with our friends. We were goofing around. I had a disposable camera. I was being funny. And let me backstory to who I am as a person, because when I was growing up in my household, it was a very quirky, funny household. My dad was always cracking jokes. It was man who goes to bed with stinky butt, wake up with stinky finger jokes, farting at the dinner table, hence my other story, obviously. We were just a very weird, quirky family. Everything was off, funny. He was diagnosed with cancer when I was 13 and died very quickly when I was 14, a couple months later. So I had a sort of maturity to myself, a funny, quirky maturity. And so I could see where somebody would be like, wow, I'm super fascinated with who you are and why you are like you are. And so we were at the trailers with all of our friends, all of our dancers' friends, and he was kind of still following me around and wanting to get to know me better. And he looked me straight in the eye and he was like, I want to know how you are. And I was like, what? What do you mean? Why do you want to know that? I wasn't ready to confront who I was, but he was super interested.
Yeah.
And he was kind of waiting for the answer, and I don't think I ever gave him anything. I think he just kind of took that as a cue and left, and I never really talked to him after that. But cut to now, it's just fascinating to me that he has two successful podcasts where it was the manifestation in him, where he now interviews celebrities and people and dives deep into finding out why people are who they are and why they're how they are.
That's true.
And how they became this person from these events in their life. And I just felt I was one of those first tests in the world that he
you were
found.
the beginning of that, maybe his
in
own
himself.
journey of that, self-realization and discovering. And oh my gosh, I did a job with him as well called What About Dick? It was a stage. Yeah, I choreographed that show with Tom. And it's so interesting because I remember him being very intense and very inquisitive about people.
Yeah, it just felt he had started something long ago.
Yeah.
That after what happened with him and Katy Perry, all that, it took him maybe a moment, but I think that was ultimately that was meant for him, was to discover people and psychology and spiritual awakening and things like that.
You'd probably at that age never been asked something.
Yeah,
never.
So did it start something in you that started questioning that?
I don't know. I mean, I think deep down I obviously knew what the answer was. I wasn't well, my dad died.
Right.
So there's that, and
Right.
I think I was oh, okay, I don't talk about my feelings yet. Because when you're a dancer, nobody really asks about you. They don't really genuinely want to know. They don't want to put you on camera and ask you questions. They just don't really inquire
kind of
further.
seen and not heard kind
Yeah,
of thing that we lived
exactly.
for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like, oh, you're interested in me? Okay.
But he saw something in you that was deeper than just like
saw a
the image
bigger
that
picture.
maybe other people had
He
seen.
saw something different.
I love that.
Yeah, I thought it was just so fascinating. That job altogether was just incredible.
I think it's fascinating so many times, the interesting personalities and people that kind of shape us as well that we get to work
Yeah.
with as artists.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Well, cheers to that.
thanks.
Hey,
Cheers.
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 Cheers to the artist and all of us and digging a little deeper. Digging deeper. Dance dish. To dance dish.
Yes.